Daigway, everybody. Welcome to Council Fire with the Riverwinds. We are your hosts. I'm Chief Joseph Riverwind.
And I'm Dr. Laurelyn Riverwind.
Thank you all for being here with us today for the counting of the Omer. Today's going to be a very short counting because we are this evening flying to Sarah's memorial service in Kansas. So it's going to be short today, but let's proclaim the count.
Today is day
37
37.
of the counting of the Omer. Thank you all so much for your prayers and your messages of encouragement and uplifting. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
You guys, the Jewish community has been so uh, wounded by all of this and so supportive of us in this grieving process. Um, and I know they're not watching, so I can't thank them. But they knew that she was a work friend of ours, and without even saying anything, they went and collected money for
To help
us
us
to
get
go
there.
to the funeral.
We had no idea. They were like, we're collecting funds. This was the Jewish community.
Because otherwise we would not have been able to attend. And and we got an invitation from the embassy and her family. So we're grateful for being able to go and pay our respects, and we will, with your permission, pay your respects also the believing community and any of the pro-Israel tribes out there or people within the tribes. And so we just thank you for your prayers of protection. While we were fasting a couple of days ago, the Lord revealed a threat against us. And so we're grateful for you guys, for your prayers of protection and continued provision. We are still looking for the provision for our trip to New Mexico. We still have some gaps in going to preach the gospel and going to teach the deeper revelation understandings for
the appointed times, revival.
the names of God.
Yeah, bringing the message of the Creator through His ancient words, through to the reservations and to the native people, by and through native people. So thank you so much for those of you who have been praying about that. I said I was going to put the schedule up yesterday, and then thank you all for your grace. And we got the message from the deputy director at the embassy, and so everything's just been kind of scrambling. The minister of
public diplomacy.
Yes, public diplomacy. So thank you for your grace in that I haven't put the schedule up yet, but we assure you we will be in Farmington, New Mexico, and in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Therefore, New Mexico.
And the Mescalero Apache Reservation. So.
What's next? The reading of the...
So let's read the Psalm of Ascent of David.
Psalm 122 is the psalm for today.
I was glad when they said to me, "Let us go to the house of Yahweh."
Our feet have been standing within your gates, O Yerushalayim.
We're going to just read this and go back and then highlight a few things.
Mm-hmm.
Jerusalem, built as a city that is bound firmly together,
to which the tribes go up. The tribes of Yahweh. And was decreed, as was decreed for Israel, to give thanks to the name of Yahweh. How do you give thanks to the name of Yahweh if you don't say His name?
Their thrones for judgment were set, the thrones of the house of David.
Pray for the peace of Yerushalayim. May they be secure who love you.
Peace be within your walls and security within your towers.
For my brothers and companions' sake, I will say, Shalom Aleichem. Peace be with you. Peace be upon you.
Peace be within
Peace be within you.
For the sake of the house of Yahweh our God, I will seek your good. So interesting and fascinating that of all
Again.
days, this comes up on Jerusalem Day. This psalm that's all about going up to Mount Zion, to the temple of the Lord, to Jerusalem, and blessing Jerusalem and praying for Jerusalem and about the unity of Jerusalem is on, of all days this year, it is on Jerusalem Day. It doesn't always work out that way, you guys.
And you know what's incredible about that? Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Go ahead.
It's Memorial Day as well here as a country, right, where we're honoring our fallen warriors and our veterans. So just as a side note, don't thank a veteran for their service on this day. Today we are remembering those who have passed. Interestingly enough, on Memorial Day, it's Jerusalem Day, which in Psalm 137, 5 through 6, it says, "If I forget you, O Yerushalayim, let my right hand forget her skill. Let my tongue cleave to the roof of my mouth. If I forget you, if I prefer not Jerusalem above my chief joy." On Memorial Day, we're supposed to remember. And on this day is also Jerusalem Day. And we are to remember.
How ironic is it that Jerusalem has fallen multiple times? And so on a day when we're remembering the fallen warriors, the fallen ones, here Jerusalem comes up and she has fallen, but yet she has been resurrected. And this is what we celebrate today in Jerusalem Day. So you see the memorial picture of her death, and you see the resurrection as a picture of the bride, because the bride has been birthed twice, the natural birth and the spiritual rebirth. And when was the spiritual rebirth?
I was hoping you would get to this.
In 1967.
This is a key. This is a key when it comes to, if those of you who study prophecy and end time prophecy, this is a key to the cycles of the Jubilees, the Yovels, and the prophetic cycles of what's happening, right? A lot of times we mistakenly place May 14th, 1948 as a key turning point, and it is. Absolutely, it is. It is. But there's also a very key element that's missing from all the calculations that I haven't heard from anybody else until you figured this out.
We'll go into it another time, but
no, just tell them.
I'll just say this. Israel was reborn a breech baby, okay? Because the nation came in, and then, that's like the body, and then the head came in 1967. And so you've got the head, the capital, birthed after the nation. And this was when Jerusalem was returned to Israel. Now, some could legitimately argue that Jerusalem has not wholly turned back and returned into Israel, because East
it's
Jerusalem
divided.
Is still being
it's a divided
in
city.
Some ways.
Yeah.
It is largely populated by the Arab people, by
Arabs,
the people
Armenians,
who call themselves Palestinians,
and the Jewish section.
Well, the East Jerusalem, East Jerusalem, and so when we look at the this psalm, what's amazing about it is it's talking about the unity of Jerusalem,
a unified Jerusalem, because when Messiah comes, it's going to be a unified Jerusalem. He is cleaning house. He comes back, and you may not like to hear this, but it's not my words. He comes back killing a lot of people who have come against his people, who has come against his bride. Right? For the unit of measurement to be so high as a horse's bridle, that's a lot of deaths. And that's because the nations will surround Jerusalem. Nations, that means including the United States of America, if it's even in existence when this happens, but that includes all the nations. So we need to understand that there will be a unified Jerusalem. Yes, Jerusalem has been colonized over and over and over and over again throughout the centuries. Right? The Assyrians, the Babylonians, the Romans, the Ottomans, the British. Right? So there has been colony after colony after colony after colony. But yet the indigenous people have returned. On May 14th, 1948, that was the day of their decolonization, and the native people came back to their homeland. Uh, it wasn't born. Israel was not born May 14th, 1948. Israel was born over 3,000 years ago. So you have a continuous timeline. This all has to happen before Messiah comes. And that's one, the presence of his people actively returning to the land, because that's where all the nations are going to come attack. And they know this. You don't think the enemy doesn't know this? They know what the prophecies say, so they actually work a lot of their plans according to that playbook. Why do you think they attacked on the most high holy day of the Jewish people in Judaism on October 7th? Because that's what conquistadors and colonizers do. They find the highest holy day of the person that of their enemy, and they attack when they are at their most position and place of peace. So we know these things are going to continue happening. We know that there's more that's going to happen. But Creator's eye is on Jerusalem. Creator's eye is on what is happening to his people. And where are we in that timeline with his people? Where are you as a voice, as a person speaking out? If you don't know, get educated about it. Just learn some basic Middle Eastern history. It doesn't even have to be anything religious, just basic Middle Eastern history. The dragon is very actively at work, and very much so in our country, and we have to be more aware and prepared than ever.
I'd like to focus on verse 3 of this scripture. Yerushalayim habenuya ki'ir shechuvra la yadecha. Yahuda. So anyway, I'm sorry. I haven't practiced this one. But Yerushalayim is built Ke'ir, as a city. And then that next word, wow. That next word, you guys, fasten your seatbelt for it, because it's going to take you in a tailspin. Shechub Ra is it comes from the word to join, unite, bind together, or ally. Okay? And so it's talking about Jerusalem itself. This is the Lord knowing that it was going to be a divided city. And he's saying, listen, we're not splitting this up into two cities. It's not going to become Jerusalem and a twin city.
He actually commands his land not to be divided. He actually says that. Do not divide my land. It's his land.
And even though there are problems in Jerusalem, they're still calling it Jerusalem, the whole thing. So he's basically said, we're not going to have the west part of Jerusalem called Jerusalem, and then the east part of Jerusalem called, make up whatever name. And so when we look at that, I want to focus on that word. So the word chaval, it doesn't just mean to join, unite, bind together, or ally. It also means to compact, to couple together, to have fellowship with, to heap up, to join oneself. It also means league or together. Now, the root word actually specifically means, don't shoot the messenger. I'm reading straight from the Strong's Exhaustive Concordance
of the King
James. All right? It means to join, literally or figuratively, specifically by means of spells, to fascinate, or to unite and be joined, to tie a magic knot or a spell, to charm. All right? So, how many of you guys out there are going, what
in the world?
Remember, there's kingdom of light
and kingdom of darkness.
So what he's saying, he's using a word that can be used, it's usually used by the kingdom of darkness, but
It's a
what it
counterfeit.
means is a spiritual joining that happens by a spiritual force that no man can put asunder. So, in the kingdom of darkness, they would call that magic. In the kingdom of light, we might call it by supernatural power of God. And so, what he's saying here is, you guys are going to be united. This Jerusalem is going to be one. There's nothing and nobody that's going to divorce Jerusalem into pieces and separate it. That is his city, where he has placed his name.
His name.
And it's not getting a divorce, no matter how many completely different forces move into it. And so when we see the fact that it's been occupied by completely conflicting people groups, and
ideologies, religions,
and yet the city has still not been separated into two different names, two different governments, etc. It's pretty miraculous.
But all that will be set straight. All of that will be set straight. So somebody asked, what's the significance of the American embassy placed in Jerusalem? Well, there's the obvious right off the.
Can I finish reading that part? I'm sorry.
Oh yeah.
I forgot. I wanted to read from the etymological dictionary about it.
Absolutely.
It also means coupling, coming together, concentrating within itself, exerting bewitching influence, swelling wound. And the reason why it's called why that's the case is because when you get a laceration and your skin comes apart, it swells so much that the pieces end up touching each other again and can be approximated and stitched. So the Lord's like, I don't care how divided it's going to be, you're still going to be brought back together. You're not going to be apart. Companion, intimate union, and concentrated spot, partners. So it is a married, one city situation, no matter what.
He's all about the echad and being one. And there's going to be, and his name is going to be one when Messiah comes, right? And he's going to be teaching out of Mount Zion, out of the temple, and the city will be one. And I really highly doubt there's going to be any idols or anything else in his face.
Not in the millennial
No,
reign.
not in the millennial reign.
That won't be tolerated.
So American embassy is significant on a political level, spiritual level. You know, you could argue that because America has a covenant with Israel, even some states do, that there's also a precedent set for that. But from what we've studied and just what we've researched, we're just not finding the good old U.S. of A. in the end times. We can't, we don't see America in end times. Well.
We actually see something that may indicate.
Yeah, I mean, you could
an end to the U.S.
Yeah,
but that's for another day.
And you could also argue Zechariah 14, where it says all the nations of the earth will turn against Jerusalem, will surround her. So is that before or after? There's no more America. Maybe it's before, and maybe it leads to there not being in America in later end time prophecies. It's really it's a deep dive thing to research. And definitely not something that we could get into here.
Let's also take a peek at verse 7. So when it's talking about that peace will be within its walls and prosperity within its palaces, within your palaces, that word prosperity is shalva or shalwa if you pronounce it the older way. And that word is Shin Lamed He. It means to assure, to feel safe, to be serene. It can actually be.
Is that Shiloh?
It is a construct, or Shiloh is a construct of this word, and I will say that it can be either a true peace or it can be a false peace. So, but it means being serene and content, prospering, being complete, undisturbed peace. It also means placenta. So the placenta being a provision and protection, because things don't make it, most things don't make it past the placenta. There's a barrier there of protection that has a decreased ability of uh, permutate of I just went blank on the word, for things to be able to cross over from the mother to the baby. So when you look at that, it provides security and assurance. It provides security for the baby. So when we look at that, Jerusalem as a mother, Jerusalem as the bride, and those within it being protected and secured and provided for.
Which is why Jerusalem is called her, she, right? As that city, like the city of the birth of the nation, of the people of Israel, where the temple was built twice. Um, the apple of his eye, yes. Very interestingly enough, if you look at that word apple in the King James Strongs, look it up, and it actually says it's the pupil of Yahweh's eye. So Israel is the pupil of his eye, meaning it's almost like he sees the world, he sees the universe, he sees everything through the lens of Israel. Pretty interesting, huh? So
the next verse, verse 8, is talking about that it's going to be both for his brothers and companions. And so you see that
brothers, blood, natural born, companions.
Or achi.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the blood brothers.
And the ones who have made the Ruth statement. Your Elohim will be my Elohim. Your people will be my people. Your God will be my God. Where you go, I will go. Where you die, I will die. Right? I mean, that's, a lot of people like quoting verse 16 of Ruth's covenant statement, but they don't like to quote verse 17, which talks about the persecution that you will also go through because of standing with Creator's people.
So,
so read 16 and 17 of Ruth. I can't remember what chapter it was, maybe 2 or 3.
Oh, we've got it right there. Leah, being that friend, companion, neighbor, fellow, husband, lover. So it's a very close relationship. It's the best friends, basically. So thank you, you guys, for joining
being
us
friends
today.
with us, yeah, and for joining with us in our calling, and pray for our trip. Pray for that we will be refreshed and be able to accomplish what Creator wants us to accomplish in New Mexico. The beginning part of the trip will be in the Farmington area. And then it's towards the end that will be in Albuquerque.
Okay.
And again, I'm going to do everything I can, especially while we're sitting at the airport, to get that schedule up there for you all. But I'm just telling you that so you can kind of make general ideas of first part of our trip, Farmington, New Mexico area. That's going to be our base of operation. And second, towards the end of the trip, towards Pentecost, will be the Albuquerque area. That's around like from Thursday through Sunday, Monday type. So many blessings. Keep us in your prayers. Thank you for being with us. Sing a song 7 years ago should be presented again. Maybe so. He's been giving us new songs. So many blessings to you all. We will see you again. I don't want to say tomorrow at 1 because I think the service is at 11.
We may be late tomorrow.
So more than likely we'll be late tomorrow on the stream.
If you can, bear with us, and we'll go live when we can. I'm not sure exactly what time it will be. 11 o'clock is actually Central Time, so that would be
noon. Wow.
We'll definitely be late tomorrow, or either very early.
Yeah, more than likely we'll just come on later in the evening from the hotel room, so that we could just be fully there for the family and friends of Sarah. So we will see you tomorrow. Many blessings. Yaya Kakona. Choreto Guari. Oh, A Kiss to Israel. Yes. Um, that's the song he's talking about, Song of Forgiveness. Look it up, A Kiss to Israel on
Our
YouTube.
Kiss to
Our
Israel.
Kiss to Israel. There's a live version and there's also a lyrics version. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Many blessings to you. Seneko Kakona. We'll see you tomorrow.
Don't you guess